My next case says there is a coup underway against this president, and it will not stop. I happen to say exactly the same thing. Political commentator, syndicated columnist, best-selling author Ann Coulter, who has written the New York Times bestseller In Trump We Trust. And the last time you and I talked, you were wavering, a little wobbly on the president. Are you back fully supporting the president, or is this a delicate time?
Well, I think, as one of your last guests said, I can't see what's happening, I can only listen, about how maybe it wasn't a good idea to be hiring a bunch of people who are completely against your agenda. Yeah, I think things would be going a lot better right now if we had all Jeff Sessions working in the Trump administration. I'm pretty sure he's not leaking. It's the only bright spot of this administration. And maybe this would be a time to notice that capitulating on the budget and capitulating on the dreamers, continuing, i.e., to print work permits unconstitutionally for illegal aliens, something we all went crazy about. Obama's doing it unconstitutionally. Yeah, and what's happened under Trump? He's still doing it. Nothing on the wall. Putting Nikki Haley at the UN and Goldman Sachs filling up the White House. Well, that made them like you, Mr. President. Good thinking on that. No, it's not working. Why don't you just keep your promises, and at least you'll have people loyal to you because they care about the country. And
I take each of your points. They just don't happen to be very helpful to the president right now. What should he do? Because we are watching, as we have been documenting on this broadcast for weeks and weeks and weeks. This is an effort to overthrow the government of the United States.
Right.
It is nothing more. It is nothing less. And the White House acts like it is something of a clash between two very cultivated, civilized, opposing political parties, and nothing could move. It's sheer nonsense.
No, you're right. Well, it is the entire bureaucracy, both political parties in Washington, and most importantly, the fourth branch of government, the media, who just will not let up on this completely insane theory that Putin wanted Trump, and therefore he conspired with WikiLeaks to release emails showing that the DNC was trying to screw Bernie Sanders. I mean, that's the underlying theory here, all coming from people who were fine with the show trials, were fine with Russia as long as it was communist. Now that they're afraid to see that communism isn't coming back, Russia has become this horrible evil. I mean, Trump is not molesting interns in the Oval Office. He isn't running drugs to Mexico. He isn't having a private server for his emails or losing 30,000 emails.
And you've just indicted James Comey, who couldn't successfully prosecute any of the scandals and outrages you've mentioned. Yet we are about to have the treat of listening to his testimony in open committee after Memorial Day. What should this president do, and why does he have nothing but, if I may say, inadequately prepared and certainly less than passionate defenders around him? A lot of replacements should be made to do much of his cabinet. Did you hear today the Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, gave a speech saying that America has a lot to answer for the violence we've caused in Mexico? I mean, so many of these cabinet officials you're talking
would
to
be
a fellow
perfectly
who
at home.
You might think about, my blood has been boiling ever since he uttered those words. I don't know what is going on in this White House, but it looks like these are the early stages of what is a collapsing organization, a collapsing power center, which just happens to be the greatest in the free world. I will turn to you one more time as we wrap up here. Are you now supporting this president fully? Are you ready to talk about the president that you say you trust so much? Or have you abandoned trust and confidence in him altogether? Because it certainly sounds like you have.
No, but I want to bring him back. I mean, you and I, and well, barely enough Americans to elect him president, we're his loyal supporters. I don't want anything from him. I don't want a White House job. I want him to keep his promises.
I want him to grab his Secretary of State. Let me be very clear with you, if I may. I want to grab his Secretary of State by the nape of the neck. I want H.R. McMaster to keep saying radical Islamist terrorist until he pukes. I've had a belly full of the politically correct establishment that he has brought into that sacred house that was for so long, from November 8th, back to being the house of the people. And that I would desperately seek, and I hope you would agree.
Well, I hope he notices that bringing in people based on how much money they've made.
You're not going to answer me, so I got to go real quick. Now, you want to answer me? Are you in or are you out?
Are you? Can you hear me?
I can. I haven't heard you say you support the president.
I think the audio's down.
I haven't heard you say what he should do, but you continue to say, you know, critical things of the administration. I need one positive from you about where you're looking, how you're feeling toward this president.
That's a very complicated question.
You know what? That's a great thing I love about television.
I've been giving my opinion.
It is the essence of genius because it boils things down to the simplest. And Ann Coulter, the simplest is, we as always thank you for being with us. Great to see you. Come back soon.